Juswani.
Hi, Hitaishi ma'am, Ankita ma'am, Palak Khilwani ma'am, Nadisha ma'am. I can also see Neha Gandhi ma'am, and then yeah, Upasna Patil ma'am. Hello, hello. Thank you for your introduction.
Good evening.
We have a diverse population today. So many teachers are joining us, and schools are also joining us.
Yes.
Okay.
We have Shivali Kapoor ma'am, Neha Soni ma'am. She,
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Shivali ma'am. We are waiting for 20 more participants. Just within 1 or 2 minutes, we'll be starting.
Yeah, हम आगे पढ़ाएंगे.
Zaheda, how about if we do a quick feeling check-in?
Yes.
Recording in progress.
Yes. Usually, before we start, we conduct a feeling check-in to ensure everyone's feeling comfortable and they're all happy, in a good mood, energized. So, I want to know from all of you, how are you doing today? And think of a color that represents that emotion. Okay? Very simple. I am really excited to be here, and the color that represents excitement for me is yellow. So I want all of you to also give your answers.
Got hot pink.
and what hot
Blue, red, so many colors. Please do write the emotions that you're associating with the color.
If it's blue, what emotion represents blue? If it's red, what emotion represents red?
So I want to know from all of you, how are you doing
Happiness, excitement,
I want to skip. Very simple.
lively,
I am really
calmness,
excited to be
hot
here
pink,
and the color that
motivated blue, very tired,
associating
strong.
the color. If it's blue,
Wonderful.
What about you, Ekta?
I am very energized and I would like to choose the color orange for that. Thank you
Nice.
for asking. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Hope my screen is visible to everyone. So we are India's first preventive mental health care platform for mental health. And we work with children and teens, and how we work with them, we provide platform services to schools. And we are operating pan-India. Currently, I am very happy to announce this, that today we are having 13,000 plus students across India. And we are there in Bombay, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Coimbatore. We are also there in many parts of East India as well. So this is about us, and I'll be talking about what is our vision and mission. And before that, I have my team also. So I'll take just 1 minute of yours to introduce them. I'm Ekta Juswani, and I'm a preventive mental health care department head here. I have Tejaswini BS. She's the family therapist and she's leading counseling department. Zaheda Jeewa is leading our Mumbai. She's our Mumbai cluster head as well as a counseling psychologist. And I have Divya Jayanand. She is the business head South India. We have done the feeling check-in, so I'll be skipping that part. Yet, if some of you want to share how are they feeling, they can use the chat box for the same. Now, before I talk about emotionally safe classrooms, I would like to talk about what exactly mental health is. And I want all of you to define. Okay, I want all of you to define in your words what is mental health for you. There's nothing wrong or right. You define in your words. mental health for you? Okay, anybody? So many teachers are here.
Please unmute yourself and express your ideas on that.
We have got ability to understand my emotion at the moment. Wonderful. Self-aware.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm Anne Thomas from Hyderabad.
Hi.
And am I audible?
Yeah, definitely. We can hear
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Ma'am, what I feel is that we as individuals are wired with different emotions, thoughts, and so much of processing going on based on experiences and memories. So, when we are able to put all of them in place and we are able to function normally in the society, when we are having our own work and academics and different things, and when we are able to put them in place and function in a much better way, that is what we call as a good mental health. And when we fall back in place, that is when we start experiencing poor mental health, and at the same time mental illness steps in, stressors start becoming so overwhelming for us. So this is my understanding about mental health.
Yes, and indeed, it's a very holistic definition of mental health. And we, as World Health Organization defines, it includes physical well-being, mental well-being, and social well-being. So these are the three well-being definitions we have. And mental health. Okay, I would just request all of you to, if you can mute yourself, because it's echoing for me here. Okay, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with normal stressors of life. So it will never say that mental health is absence of stress. It is the ability to cope up with stress, and how well you are able to work productively, and how you are able to bounce back if there's something happening in your life. That defines the mental health. Now let's talk about what can school do to actually make mental health possible. And then we'll also discuss the correlation of mental health well-being, social emotional learning, and how it helps in making so emotionally safe schools and emotionally safe classrooms as well. Okay. Anybody who has some idea what exactly schools can do to make school emotionally safer and promote mental health in school?
Now let's talk about what
I'll start.
to actually make mental health.
So,
Ma'am, can I?
yes, ma'am, definitely.
What I feel is we can be mindful when it comes to students. Gone are those days when we used to give harsh punishments, or it can be verbally describing a child. And in short, be mindful when we assess a child, or we come out through those stages when we, it can be assessments, it can be progress card, it can be during PTMs when we discuss the child with the parents. So we have to be, that can be a point, like we have to think very well and approach the weaknesses or the strengths in that way. That is what I feel.
That's true, ma'am. I think everyday activities, how you approach children, the kind of environment you are providing children, that decides the mental health, for the school, and how emotionally those schools are safe. So NEP 2020 actually highlights how it's very important for all of us to work towards mental health via curriculum. Why curriculum? When I can have a circle time activity once in a month, or I can just talk about yoga. I can make them do some exercises maybe twice a month. Why do we need a curriculum for mental health? Let's talk about that. Why NEP felt the need to talk about a curriculum that would promote social, emotional, and mental health well-being. Okay. We teach children mathematics, right? We teach them mathematics. We also teach them literacy. And we are having a curriculum around it. Why? Because we feel like it's very important, it's crucial, and there needs to be a progression, developmentally appropriate curriculum around that, so that there are changes and tangible changes. We all are participating in that. Similarly, when we talk about social emotional learning, it's a tool towards mental health well-being. And I think I am having some school counselors and psychologists within this session who will be agreeing with me that social emotional learning is a very amazing tool to promote preventive mental health care.
We all are participating in that.
Now, first we need policy or curriculum. Number two, we need coursework around it. So we also provide a lot of books. You can go ahead. There are a lot of books around mental health, and we also provide the curriculum around it. We also need teachers training. So we are here today for the teachers training. It is part of mental health care as well that NEP promotes. Why teachers only? Don't you think that mental health is something that should be taken care by counselors or parents? Why teachers? Why is there so much pressure on teachers? Anyone?
And the reason for that is teachers spend almost 8 hours with the students. We are in contact with the students
First contact of trust in school. Yeah. Now, we have seen that usually, let's say there's a school strength within your school of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 students, and you're having one counselor or maybe two. Okay, do you think these two counselors can provide mental health or social emotional learning based services to entire school in one go? Even if, let's say, today only I had a word with a counselor in Pune. She's working 3 days in a school. She's teaching life skills 3 days in a school. And she has been asked to actually grade 1 to 12. They are having 4 sections each. Okay. And she's teaching life skill and social emotional learning. Practically and humanly, it will never bring results. Why? Because there won't be consistency, there won't be any reinforcement. So when teachers are our frontline workers, that means we know right after COVID-19 what does frontline worker means? When they are our warriors in front, counselors and mental health professionals can help children who require additional mental health support. Right? So that's how teachers training becomes very crucial. And you see a lot of teachers are getting certified these days for social emotional learning. We have a community of teachers. Every day they look for some lesson plan. They need kindness activities. They need something related to stress. At the end of the day, it will come to us. Right? Now, let's see what else can we do. After number 4, we need infrastructure. Books are there, teachers are trained, we need more. And what is that? We need trained counselors. We need parents training. Right? Until unless parents are partnering with us in the process, how is this possible? You're teaching the child To be honest, you're teaching the child not to hit, but at home, the intentions are not bad, but the parent might be, teaching the child that if somebody bullies you, you are also supposed to hit that child. It happens, right? Or lying sometimes, it's not bad. So then it becomes very important to provide proper infrastructure. Only school can make that happen. Right? We'll also talk about classrooms. Last but not the least, we need well-being, mental health well-being experts, where teachers are also there who are helping within the classroom. We need counselors. And 1, 2, 3, depending upon your school strength, you require that level of infrastructure if you really want to bring some changes. And let me remind teachers, if you'll go and read the researches, 25% of academic performance increases within the classroom if you're working on precise mental health well-being and social emotional learning based intervention. Okay, now we'll talk about emotionally safe environment in the classroom. And in that we have social, emotional, ethical and logical learning as one of our major tools. Why social, emotional, ethical learning? Because it is actually, providing a holistic idea of tools and strategies in a systematic manner, which is developmentally appropriate, that would guarantee some results when it comes to mental health. Social, emotional, and logical learning is a way to foster children's and teens' social, emotional well being. A person with SEEL skills is empathetic, resilient, emotionally intelligent, ethical, and logically smart. Now it sounds like that, if you will have within your classroom such kids, imagine the kind of classroom you'll be having. Okay, we are talking about classrooms. Let's discuss the challenges that you're having in the classroom. You can unmute yourself or use the chat box to write it. Challenges within the classroom. Upasna ma'am, are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so the percentage of what I feel hyperactive kids these days has increased a lot. So
Yeah.
it really becomes difficult when it's come to classroom management.
Yeah, so hyperactive kids, that means impulsivity. Okay, what else? Children, okay, there are more restlessness, hyperactiveness, okay, behavioral issues. Okay. How many of you are using social emotional learning based curriculum or classroom activities, something or they related to promote social emotional learning well-being within the classroom? Okay, Upasna ma'am is doing that in her school. You can raise your hand. Okay, lack of interest, class strength. Okay, to tackle challenges student. Okay, some special students are difficult to handle. True. Okay. Neha ma'am is using social emotional learning based interventions in the classroom. Okay, let's talk about emotionally safe classrooms and then we might provide some solutions around it. Emotionally, let's talk about emotional safety first. When do you feel safe? When do you feel safe? When you are feeling accepted, supported, you're free to express, and there is less rejection. Or there is no rejection. There are no judgments about what you're trying to do or what you're trying to say. And people are more open towards your abilities and they recognize your uniqueness. Emotionally safe classroom is a learning environment where students feel accepted, respected, valued, and free to express themselves without fear of judgment, ridicule, or punishment. Now imagine there's a kid in your classroom. She saw that you are very open and you always listen to everybody. She wanted to tell you about that, yesterday she had a fight with someone and she hit somebody. And I take my example. I, as a teacher, I tell her, anger is bad. You were not supposed to do that. Getting angry is bad and you were not supposed to do that. What do you think? What will be the consequences? Will she tell me again about her experiences?
In this case, child will be hesitant to share anything further.
Further, yes. Also, we are rejecting the emotion here and experience that the child is going through. And it's just one small example. The chances are, as you move ahead, let's say grade 5, 6, 7, you'll also find, children talking about love relationships. I met a grade 2 kid and she was telling me, ma'am, there was a boy in my classroom. He gave me a chit and it was written, I love you on that chit. And this is happening in grade 2 classroom. So these are the things that have started happening. And if we will not listen to children, we won't be able to counsel them in a proper way or provide them help in a proper way or tell them what is right and what is wrong. The moment we reject, we create, a barrier that the child won't come to us or anybody will never come to us and talk about the same thing again. Benefits of emotionally safe classroom: stronger mental health, confident children, deeper trust and meaningful connection, healthy communication and conflict resolution, greater social emotional strength and resilience, growing empathy, kindness, freedom to imagine and create. Imagine there is one example given in your book, and if a child is trying to think out of the box, and because we are having limited thought process, or we are not able to go to that level where the child is imagining, and we are rejecting that idea, that actually hinders emotional safety. Boost in emotional awareness and social skills. Now let's talk about some activities. Also, by the end of the webinar, I think we are having 2 days webinar, we'll be giving you some activities that you can use within your classrooms, and that will be helpful. Now we have 9 domains of social, emotional, ethical, and logical learning. Globally, there are 5. Keeping Indian context in mind, we had our own research for at least good 2 years, and we saw that there are certain other skill requirements. So number 1 is self-awareness. Self-awareness is knowing your emotions, strengths and weaknesses and working around it. Then we have self-management. Self-management talks about managing yourself. You can see thoughts, behavior, actions. Managing these 3 things. Positive childhood talks about resilience, growth mindset. This is one of the additions by us. Social awareness talks about perspective taking, empathy. Social communication, it's another addition. And what we promote free self-expression. Now, I met, there was a child in, like, I think grade 3. So that kid was, he was labeled that he was not able to communicate and lacking communication skills. So the parent was, also very concerned, teachers were concerned, and they were talking about, and they were labeling the child. Communication issues are there. The child is not able to communicate. But actually the problem was they shifted from Tamil Nadu to Mumbai, and there was a language barrier. Now, labeling the child that he or she is having communication issues, or he or she is not able to have communication properly, is actually a problem by us, right? I think somebody wants to annotate. Please, let's not do that. It must be by mistake. Okay. Then we have relationship skills, cognitive skills. In relationship skills, we talk about building, maintaining, and then ending sometimes relationships that are not working for us. Toxic relationship cycles. Being assertive, saying no. Cognitive skills, attention, focus. A lot of teachers highlighted issues of impulsivity, issues of behavioral problems. So they are being tackled within this domain. We have problem solving skills where we teach children about problem solving, small, big problems where you can solve on your own and where you would require somebody, and responsible decision making. Let's talk about the number one solution. So I would like to give this stage to Tejaswini. Yes, Tej.
So all of us experience challenges while taking care of these children. So the first challenge that we are going to talk about today is academic challenges. So can you all mention what are the common academic challenges that we are facing with our children? So like students are not performing well in their exams. So it could be due to attention issues or focus or memory or not having a good study habits, or like maybe that revision is not happening or the presentation is not happening well. So whatever the challenges the students are facing, we have social emotional learning solutions for that. We have our Indian SEEL solutions for that. So first and foremost important thing is to teach them self-awareness. So if the child is aware, like where I am lacking, so why I'm not able to understand the subject, perform better in the subject, and like get good marks in the subject. So that's important. Where I'm lacking. Is it that I'm not studying enough? Or am I too distracted? Am I not having the comprehension to understand what the subject is saying? Or is it just my, inability to write it with proper words? So the child must be able to understand his own challenges. Like what exactly is the problem? Having this self-awareness will help him to correct that. So teaching self-awareness is very, very important to have the reflection about his own performance. What was wrong and how I can work on myself. So do I need any external support? Do I have to ask my teacher? Or do I have to take my parents' support? So this self-awareness is very important. And the second thing is time management. So we have given you one example. So time management. In the SEAL subject, we have time management activities. So where we teach the kids about how to set priorities. So what is important to me? Like in a week, I have my exam. So what I am going to prioritize. So is it cricket practice or watching TV, relaxation, or like sleep or social media or study? So first, setting the priorities. It's important. So we are going to teach the children about how to set the priorities, what is more important, and create daily and weekly schedule. So here the child is going to be more disciplined. He will be understanding where I am spending most of my energy, most of my time. Am I focusing on studies? So am I focusing more, like am I spending my most of the time just by relaxing and watching social media or TV or play? So creating a daily and weekly schedule will help the children to have the disciplined study habits. So this will actually help them to handle their academic challenges. And mostly, we welcome the student to create their own schedule. So here, the child is given the rights to create his own schedule. So he is taking the accountability. So I have created my schedule and I am going to follow my own schedule. There is a sense of, like responsibility. Yes, I am following my own words. So that gives a sense of self-pride for the child. And the next one is minimizing distractions. Being adult, we have a lot of distractions, and children, definitely, right? You all will agree with me. Even in the class,